Hi, Sonic. We're your biggest fans. I've watched you your whole life. I'm Tails.
That's terrible. We want to keep viewers on this video.
No, hate watch is just as valuable, I've learned.
Hate watch is just as valuable? Okay.
Anyway, so, hi.
Oh, God. Wait, we're putting it here?
You can put it like, I was gonna put it right here. Like,
no, I mean the camera. I thought
it doesn't quite work in the center. It gets awkward. We've had this discussion. That's why we don't put it up there.
There we go. This is a cool, like...
Battlefield Earth!
90s. Yeah, Battlefield Earth. There we go.
See,
Yeah, I miss your old car.
I make an executive decision, and then you immediately override it and make it so much worse. Immediately.
I'm the what does this button do person.
I guess so. All right. Well, we're keeping that in because it's funny.
All right. So that was ridiculous enough. Okay. I guess I'll just hold. You can't adjust brightness. It's like
one of these days I'll get a new car that actually functions as a car. What are you doing?
I don't know. I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once yesterday, so...
Nice. I gotta watch it again.
Yeah.
Anywho, so something that's not Everything Everywhere All at Once is Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah.
Okay. You and I saw the first one together. And,
yeah.
And we both liked it fine. I think you liked it more than I did.
I think we had somewhat different experiences at this movie.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
For context, you're much more of a Sonic fan than I am.
Wait, is that implying that you are a Sonic fan at all? Me being more of one implies that you are one.
Okay, correction. Yeah. You are the Sonic fan, and I don't care.
Yeah.
That's more or less what it is. I have nothing against it. It's never grabbed me.
Sure.
I didn't grow up on the games. I didn't have a Sega Genesis. I didn't have any of those, so I just never played them.
Yeah.
Even when I did play them, I think I just could not get into them.
It's a certain kind of game. It helps if you have like ADD.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely one of those gotta go fast things. Which he says in the movie. He says the thing.
I was more of a Mario fan if I had to pick one
Why do you have to pick one?
Because that's the rivalry they always made.
I don't give a fuck about rivalries. I like what I like.
I'm just telling you what I picked in the generational
This is what's wrong with America.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the fucking movie or not.
All right. No, I didn't have a console when I was a kid, so I just went to the fucking Toys R Us and played the demos for both, and then just went home and cried because I had no console.
Oh.
No, I didn't actually cry about it. My uncle had a Super Nintendo. But I just always liked Sonic. Sonic had, like... He was cooler.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fair.
But also it went faster. Like, I liked the dynamic nature of those levels. And I like the whole, like, steampunk, like... Not steampunk, but they had, like, the factory levels and the casino night levels. It was way more colorful and stuff. And I just enjoyed that. And... This movie does what the first one does in some ways, where they do land a lot of fan service. There's a lot of fan service that does get put out there that's pretty fun. I like the fact that the coffee shop that the henchman owns is called the Mean Bean something, and like, you know, if you remember was the Genesis game, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. It was the Dr. Mario clone. And they just have little touches thrown in throughout the movie that are like, oh, hey, along with one final thing that, like, if you know the games, you see it coming, but when it happened, it still made me pretty happy. It made me...
I think my viewpoint of this movie is, like, you know, I'll give credit's due. The last 20 minutes are pretty fun, but you gotta slog through some shit to get there.
Yeah, so...
In this already too long movie.
It does that thing where, for some reason, a lot of the writing felt more forced than it did in the first one.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too.
Like, none of Robotnik's lines land, like, even kind of. They're just kind of... there.
It's like,
Oh no, he has like one joke near the end that actually is kind of funny.
I think there was only 2 Jim Carrey moments we actually laughed at, which is shame because I used to love Jim Carrey, but then like,
Well, it's you can only do what you can with what you're given, right?
yeah, I don't know. Like at the same time, like I'm wondering like how much he was allowed to riff on this, or
I doubt he was allowed to riff that much.
yeah, maybe
And-
I don't know. He's also changed a lot in like the last few years.
Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, we can look it up. But the big thing is that like he just wasn't as enjoyable to watch in this. He was kind of just
No.
cringy the whole time.
No, it's pretty painful to watch.
And
There's a whole just some completely unnecessary B plot where it just feels like all the supporting cast. Like, it would cut to like the things you want, like Sonic and Tails having an adventure to find the Master Emerald and all
Yeah.
the cool, colorful shit, and then randomly cuts to like, oh, but what does Cyclops and his wife do? Wait, we're in a car.
No, I know, but you're like shouting at me.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. All right. But what are Cyclops and his wife doing in Hawaii? Oh,
Yeah,
what are they doing?
It's. I understand that they come back around to it, and that's sure, but you don't have to keep up with it that much throughout the whole movie. Like,
there's a good 20-minute segment where just Sonic disappears entirely, and you focus on these characters that were like I couldn't even remember from the first movie, and I just could not care less about now.
I remembered her from the first movie, and I still didn't care.
Yeah.
She had a couple of good moments, but overall they were just.
Like, why is this here?
Yeah,
like, there's no reason for this to be
It's like
here.
having a long segment that doesn't matter and a couple moments in it make it tolerable, but overall it's just largely unnecessary, and it feels like a different movie.
Yeah. It's like it feels like suddenly just Sonic got dropped in this really bad rom-com about this
No, and then he's
wedding.
taken out of it.
Yeah.
No, cause like literally at one point I turned to you, I'm like, where is Sonic?
Yeah.
Like what happened?
It's like, why are we still watching this? Like,
Yeah.
this is like this movie's already 2 fucking hours long. It's a fucking
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Why?
But the thing is that like when it focuses on the central adventure, it does do a decent job. It, unlike Uncharted, actually understands its characters and does an adaptation that stays true to the spirit of a lot of that stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
And when it gets to the grand finale fight, that's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good time.
Yeah.
It's consistently entertaining throughout, and constant like fan service payoffs. It's pretty good.
Yeah, like that. Like when it finally gets to that point, it's like, all right, yeah, this is pretty consistent. I can enjoy
Yeah.
this. It does feel like the segments, like the whole Hawaii segment, or even like the parts where it cuts to like, oh, Cyclops is gonna drive a car to help somehow. Just kind of feel like, okay, this is our reason to make this a live action movie as opposed to just make it animated.
Yeah,
which
right.
would probably be better.
Actually, yeah, most of this was better when it was focused on all the CG stuff.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's might as well have been animated, but they tried that and didn't go well either. So,
Well, what was it? The other thing that was what was the other thing that distracted for some reason? Like oh yeah, and of course during the beginning they have like the extended sequences of like, oh, Sonic's just a wacky, irresponsible little guy, and like that whole sequence of him partying in the house and like making a mess and like doing this like little foam party bubble bath thing. It's for kids.
Sure.
It's fine.
Yeah, like I
know.
think one other thing that was kind of distracting me a little bit, like it's not a massive deal, but I was kind of wondering is like, did Tails really need to be here?
Yes, he did, Michael.
Okay, all right, chill. Take a step back. My point is like he doesn't really help all that much with Sonic.
He's the linchpin. He's the guy.
I mean,
who
I'm
helps.
talking about like character arcs, not necessarily like plot device.
He learns to have confidence in himself.
But he kind of
and he makes a
already
friend.
had that.
No, he didn't.
Like
He's a little bitch boy at the beginning. That's the whole point. He's all shy. He faints when the bar scene.
the bar.
The bar scene, a little unnecessary and silly, but at the same time, like the opening when they first walk in, and there's just things that scare them. It's weirdly funny. It has a sense of humor that's the fish head, dude.
Yeah, the fish head was funny. I think that let's talk about the humor for a bit there, because it was kind of wildly inconsistent in what audience it's geared for.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pop culture references that are just there, and
There's
that's
a
it.
Limp Bizkit reference.
Yeah, but there's also there's a flossing reference at one point,
Yeah.
and then followed by
Backpack Kid was 10 years ago, dude.
was it, oh god.
Yeah.
And then that was followed on later up by a Limp Bizkit reference. I'm like,
Limb Bizkit.
whatever the hell you're saying. And you're just kind of like, who is this for?
I remember in high school, some of us used to just joke and say, call them soggy croissant.
That's actually pretty funny.
That got a better laugh out of him than anything in the movie.
I will say, one part that was kind of working for me, because I was like, yeah, it's one joke, but it's done really well, is just Idris Elba as
Yes.
Knuckles.
Yes.
That we can agree
That is
probably the best part of the movie.
Easily the best part of the movie. 'Cause
Yeah.
Idris Elba, as you're watching the movie and as you're thinking about Knuckles being Knuckles, sure, there is Knuckles in the movie. He is the character. But I couldn't stop imagining in my head Idris Elba standing in a recording booth, reciting these lines,
Yep.
and just having the time of his life doing it.
Yep.
He's chewing the scenery like fucking crazy. And by the time you get to the ending where, inevitably there's going to be the character switch, the dialogue he has outside of I have my quest and my destiny, and
Yep.
when he gets outside of that sphere of dialogue for a brief point of the movie, it's hilarious.
Yep.
It is so funny.
It's kind of like when they had Morgan Freeman do the Lego movie, and I just wanted to be half of the challenge was to see what they can get Morgan Freeman to say. To the point where it's like, can we make it Morgan Freeman do ghost sounds and shit? Ooh. And
I
this
gotta
one
watch
has,
the Lego movie again.
and this one just has just Knuckles going dot dot dot
Yes.
dot dot
Just-
dot, and it's it's stupid. It's not a good joke, but it's Idris Elba's doing it,
Yeah.
which is what kind of makes it funny.
Yeah, and I do think that part of it may have been them trying to get him to say stuff, and part of it may have been him just really just going with it,
Yeah, I mean,
just having a good time.
Idris
And
Elba has definitely shown he's not above doing really stupid shit for
Yeah.
any given project.
so, after Cats, it was
I-
all open game.
I always still think of that one interview he did. I think it was I think the Tonight Show or something like that, where he's talking about the cat, because he was filming Hobbs and Shaw when he
Yes.
got cast in Cats.
Yeah.
and he was talking. It's like, hey Idris, what's your next project? And Cats. What? We can't hear you. Cats. So, at that point, it's whatever.
They enjoyed it though. It was fine.
Yeah, no, they had a good time.
But
There's a really loud.
that car needs a smog check.
Yeah, there you go.
Taste it. But yeah, so that smells real bad.
I don't know if I roll the window, but that makes it better or worse.
No, it would make it worse. It just lets more in.
Yeah.
Let's wait till they leave and then roll it back down. But I'm sorry, ever since I rediscovered, I keep remembering that part in the Jesus Rolls interview, Jesus Rolls review, where there's a dude in a truck that we see. We just, for a solid 3 to 5 minutes of the review, just get distracted by this guy. We're like, what is he doing? Look at his car. And at first I'm freaked out and not freaked out, but just really confused. And you're like, what? It's not a big deal. And then you look and you're like, oh, wait, what? And we're both just...
See,
It's pretty good.
we eventually plan on moving to a higher production production value area for these reviews, but at the same time, there is such a weird charm to this
Yeah.
bottom of the barrel budget production quality we got going on.
There's something about coming out of the theater and getting the fresh response. I mean, the Cats review would not have been the same.
No, it wouldn't
if
have.
we had driven somewhere else first.
That's true.
That review is still one of my favorite things ever because
It's just two of us just trying to comprehend.
It was before anybody else was posting their hot takes on it. It was before anybody else had spoiled that much of how crazy it was. There weren't screenshots and clips everywhere. It was premiere night before they patched it, and nobody had gone to see it. And all that was out there were just these embargoed reviewers just saying
what?
all of the rumors you've heard about people not understanding what was happening in front of them are real. And people are like, how can it be this bad? And we saw it and we come out and we're just fucking losing our minds.
Yeah.
We're fucking losing our minds. And it's great. I love it. It's so good.
This was like fucking midnight around the time the Star Wars came out, and we're seeing cats.
Yeah.
We're just like, we're tired and sleep deprived. We're just like, what the fuck?
So yeah, that was a good time.
That was a perfect storm.
That was pretty good. And it's still one of the best, like, honest and raw reviews we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, so there's a charm to this. This is pretty good.
Yeah, like it's like, honestly, like, I wasn't really having it for a good chunk of this movie, I will admit.
No, I could tell. I was looking over and you were not amused. This seems to be one of those things where, like, it's a flip side where you're like, I didn't like it, and I'm like, it was fine. Like, it's fine. It's a kids movie, and you've been subjected to much worse kids movies, so I can understand if your fucking tolerance for them is lower. But it's weird because in comparison to the first one, it does more, and it has a better payoff at the end. It has a better final battle, but the strength of the first Sonic movie was its simplicity. And the fact that it actually felt like, however simple of a character building it was, throughout the movie you did really get this relationship growing between these two characters.
Yeah.
And in this one, it doesn't even feel nearly anywhere close to that. It really is more of just, an adventure with this established character, and they have just like moments of character advancement in very minor ways, but the new characters don't really have that much advancement or growth. They just follow very basic character arcs and stuff. So this is a bigger movie. It does more, but I don't know if I'd say it does it better.
Yeah. That's pretty much how I feel about it too.
Yeah.
Like
the climax is better.
The climax is way better.
The rest of the movie is better for the first one.
It just feels like a slog to get through a good chunk of the time. You're just kind of waiting for something more, like something that isn't going. How do you do, fellow kids? For a good chunk of the film. Whereas like
some of those jokes were really weird.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of just
puns.
It's just I get puns and just references with doing nothing with them. Which like so it's like the laziest style of pop culture humor.
Yeah. Also, I feel like the filmmakers at one point felt cheated into like trying Four Sigmatic coffee or something. And in the beginning, we're just like, mushroom coffee. Ugh. Like,
yeah.
Because, there's that whole trend of, like, mushroom coffee style things. And let me tell you, I have tried that mushroom coffee. Some people like it. Good for you. It works for you. I tried it.
Not
had
good.
a very similar reaction. Just to, like,
That's it.
What is this? What is this flavor? They're like, oh, it tastes like a chai kind of cinnamony, earthy kind of deal. I'm like, no.
No, it doesn't.
It really does not. And not even close. Not even kind of. I don't know where you guys, like, what chai have you guys been having?
I am not in the coffee game to understand a lot of the taste differentials.
Yeah, neither is that mushroom coffee. But in any case,
I mean, it's gonna make enough money to get a sequel, so we're gonna get another one of these.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. I had enough fan service, especially near the end, where I was like, yeah, this works for me. Let me just put it this way. I don't think it's much of a spoiler to say, but you do get your Sonic Heroes moment.
Yeah.
You do. You do get the point where,
you got what was promised.
Like, ever since Sonic 3, the whole point is that, Knuckles teams up with Dr. Robotnik at first, but then realizes he's been deceived and comes and joins Sonic afterwards, and their crew from that point forward. It's been canon for 30 years. It's not really a big deal. And I didn't expect them to go any other way with this, and of course that's how it goes. But, when they do team up, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they clearly took a little bit of inspiration from, like, that Snyder Cut Justice League, like, run and battle everything, like, talk back and forth, and you're like, all right, I get it. It works.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's very superhero-y. It's like, that's
fun
fine.
enough.
I'm never gonna.
Honestly, I wish we got a little more of that.
Honestly, I probably would have enjoyed it more if there was more of that instead of like Jim Carrey doing whatever the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
I know, like the one part we both really laughed at, to its credit, was just like the little yoink moment that happens. And it's not even because there's a line being said, but because it's just a slow motion shot of just like something being thrown at Tails for him to catch, and then just like Dr. Robotnik just doesn't even change poses, just goes like Doctor.
Just like, oh.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But it's slow motion, like, oh. And
So
it's funny.
That
It's
was like one of
funny.
the
It
that was like
lands.
the one funny moment, like few funny
Yeah.
moments like that. A couple ends that got me.
I will always laugh at hello moments, you
Yeah,
know.
so like stuff like that.
yeah.
It has a moment every now and again. Like this is not gonna be my worst list by any stretch of imagination.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna be not gonna be my best either.
Yeah, it's very hit and miss with a lot of mediocre thrown in and a sadly large amount of miss in the mix. But the hits, if you're here for the hits, they are there.
I mean, compared to Morbius,
Still need to watch it. I'm sorry. I don't want to. I was like,
buddy, but
I know.
you bugged me for months about this fucking movie.
I know, but now I have to see it alone.
You had your chance.
I was supposed to see it last weekend, and then my girlfriend got strep throat, and we didn't see it, and now I have to go see it on my own. We were gonna go see it this weekend together, but then her roommate got COVID, so now we're isolating, and we're like, all right, well,
Yeah, that's a pretty good reason.
I guess
I'm sorry, buddy.
it's okay.
I made it through. You will too.
Oh, that's what they always say, and they're always right, but at what cost?
Dignity.
What dignity?
Well, then you have nothing to lose.
That's what they always say. And they're always wrong about that one. But yeah, no, this was fine.
Yeah, comparison.
It's
Compared
fine.
to what it could be. Yeah,
It's a kids movie.
It's fine.
It's a kids movie. It does kids movie things. But if you're there for the payoffs with like, you know, going for the Sonic Heroes moment and big crazy final. They clearly realized one of the criticisms of the first one was that the final battle was underwhelming.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, well, fuck it. You want
Giant robot.
yeah, more
Which isn't a spoiler.
Spoiler.
It's in the trailer. It's not a spoiler.
Oh, it's in the trailer?
Yeah.
God, they really I only saw the first trailer.
Yeah.
That's the one I saw repeated in theaters all the time. And apparently it just spoiled a lot of like decent little surprise moments in the trailer. So
Yes.
yeah.
There you
But yeah, it's fine.
go. Yeah.
If you're a Sonic fan, it's worth seeking out because
Yeah.
it's fine. It does what it's supposed to. So
So. Ready to see Morbius tomorrow?
no, but I'm gonna
Thanks, buddy.
watch the next review is just you going like, Mahan didn't want to go to Morbius, so I'm just doing this alone. I count this as a betrayal. Just like,
Fucking Matt Smith, motherfucker.
although if I do ditch you for it, you have to use that exact line to open up as your bumper. That'd be great.
You better not fucking ditch. Okay, don't get the idea to ditch now just because you think it'd be funny.
Could be worth it for the joke.
It's not fucking worth it, man. Like I still have nightmares when I watch the first Medea Halloween by myself.
You don't pay me, Michael. This is purely voluntary.
I pay you in friendship and experience.
Fuck off! Experience with what?
Friendship. This movie taught me that.
You
life
heard
can
it. You
make-
heard it here, folks. We wouldn't be friends if I didn't help him with his YouTube show for nothing in return.
This is what we call a toxic relationship. I'm kidding. Love you, buddy. I would be friends with you even if we weren't recording videos together. I feel like you don't believe me, so we're going to discuss this off camera. Goodbye, everybody.
You better.
Good night.
Too far.